Hey miners, Mining King here. Today this is going to be a two-part video here, as there's just a lot of content that I need to do. So I'm going to show you here in a minute what we need to do to this Octominer X8 Ultra, and this is a non-plus. So let's get right into it. Okay guys, so the first thing I need to do is I need to find a way to mark these, and we're gonna see if this is gonna work or not. My plan is I just want to put a little piece of tape, you know, and I'm gonna number it from 1 to 8 going this way. 1, so this one's obviously gonna be 4. Let's just see if this pen will actually work. Oh, and it does. There you go, number 4. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna number these in the correct order I want. This way you can ensure, because some of these cards do have, like, this one might be at 2040 and this one might be at 2050 because of silicon lottery. So I want to make sure that all the overclocks stay exactly where I want them to and that they don't move. We're just gonna number all these. And most of these cards are getting cleaned. The other ones I'm just gonna blow out. I'll blow out this one and this one and this one. These ones all have good temperatures, because this one and this one, or no, these two, I actually bought used and I completely refurbished them. And this one's only like 2 months old. This is a 6600. This is the only non-Polaris card in the rig. So all we need to do is start disconnecting some of these PCIe cables. Okay guys, so I cleared off the space here so I can work. Now, these cards have never been opened. Well, one, because I bought them brand new, as well as they have a security sticker right here. So whenever you do disassemble a GPU, please do it at your own risk. Alright guys, before we open this up, I am using the iFixit toolkit, so I will leave a link in the description down below if you guys want to use these tools. So, like I said before, this card has never been opened. Well, one, I bought it brand new, as well as there's a security sticker here on the screw. So do this at your own risk. If you're not comfortable, please seek somebody, either a professional or somebody you know that feels comfortable doing these things. It is pretty easy, so don't be scared. So I like to also have some these magnetic trays right here. They're really handy because you could just keep the screws really nice and together. So I got some other things in here, but I'll just put these screws over to one side. So these Polaris cards, they are extremely easy to take apart. That was only maybe a couple of screws, like maybe 6. So really easy. Now, to disconnect the fan, be sure to not grab the cable, but to actually grab the connectors, because if you pull both out, you will ruin these connectors right here, and I don't want you to ruin your cards. So just be very patient, wiggle it back and forth, and it will come free eventually. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of work, and there we go. Now you can see on the inside of these that they're not that dirty, so I don't think the fan blades need to be cleaned in this particular case. And this is not the one with the dead fan, because they spin. So let's clean this up. Let's clean this thermal paste and the thermal paste on there, because so you can see that there was a lot of extra thermal paste from the factory. And then you can see right here all these little bare spots right here on the GPU die. So that's just from heat and being ran 24/7. And you can, everywhere where there's these little spots here not touching, could be a hot spot on the die. So we want to take care of these. So let's get these cleaned up. So whenever you're tightening down screws, just make sure you just tighten them until they're tight. You don't need to crank on these and put torque on them. It's unnecessary. You'll strip these fine screws and then you'll really not like it. I mean, most of that literally just flaked off with me just going like this with these Q-tips. So really kind of old and crusty GPU paste, which is really not what you want, but what is to be expected after mining for over a year. So they just need a little bit of love and they will be just fine. I probably would have started having some real thermal issues here really quick. So like I said, the thermal paste we'll be using today is going to be the MX4 from Arctic. That might even be a little too much for that small of a die, but we'll be all right. So I did blow out this real quick on the back side, just a little quick touch. Now that we need to assemble these cards, okay, the first thing you're going to want to do though is you're going to want to get your fan connectors. So I'll lay these sideways so you can kind of see this just a little bit better. Our first connector is this small little tiny connector right here. There we go. So we got this connector in. Now we need to get the other connector, and you can see there's this little slot or slit, so that needs to face the front. So you just pretty much should just have to wrap it over. There we go, we got both of our connectors on. Okay, now the tricky part is you kind of don't want the paste to get everywhere, right? So I face it off like this. I like to start in opposites. We'll start in this corner. And there you go. That is one Polaris card, all done, been blown out. I don't need to actually like deep clean this one yet. It's in pretty good shape. I'm pretty happy with it. And this is number one in the place of cards. So let me get the other 4 done, and then we'll get them back in the Octominer. Let me show you what I did here. I have all the cards back in their slots. I have them all in the correct order. And I replaced thermal paste on this one, this 580, as well as this one here. And you're probably like, man, you forgot to put this, you took the shroud off. Why'd you do that, Mining King? Well, I want to test, because if you look in here, the fin arrays on all of these cards, these Polaris cards, including also the 6600 here, they all face this way, front to back, not up and down. So I want to test and I want to see what kind of cooling performance we get with just having the heat sink in here. So maybe I could save a few watts by only using the fan shroud. So this will be extremely interesting. So this will be a test. So let me get this card back in the Octominer. They're all reassembled and everything. So let me get this card back in. Let me put the top back on. Let me put it back on the shelf, and let's get hashing. All right, guys. I got the Octominer all set up. She's been hashing for about 30 minutes or so, and right now the fans are about 65% on the actual Octominer fans. And if we go down here to my miner, you will see that the temperatures are better and the fans aren't as high. Now the one that is 100% right there, that is the one that does not have a fan shroud, so it says it's at 100, but it's not. That's the one that doesn't have any fans. Even though the temperature is a little bit higher on there, it can survive in the Octominer without a fan shroud. But I will keep testing this a little bit further. So we improved our thermals with some thermal paste, as well as we reduced how much of the fan is being used. So I say it's a successful day today. Alright guys, this is the Miner King giving you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time.